Last time I mentioned to you that I was having a little trouble finding a midpoint of the hexagon side on the previous design, and well, I just drew a hexagon and started doodling, I guess you'd call it, just playing around, drawing lines, and lo and behold, I came up with this design. Some amazing things happened in it. Certain lines went through places where other lines went through, and it had a natural beauty to it. And with that, I felt poised. I got to show this to you. So, I'd like to do that today. Let's start, as I did, with the circle, finding a point, marking off with our compass the radius distance, and then taking my ruler, drawing a line through the center, drawing a line through the center, drawing a line through the center, and then taking my ruler and making the sides of the hexagon, which turns those into equilateral triangles. Well, that's, I think, something we've done enough before that you'll be fine with getting a piece of paper up to there. Next, sort of interesting to think that when we first started, we were using the compass quite a lot. But now we hardly use it at all. We just use it to make the circle and mark off 2 radius points, and the rest all becomes work with a ruler. So, I'm actually going to turn my paper this way, I think, and work. One of the things that we've seen happen a few times was to draw a line from this point down to this point, and when we did that, it would find the midpoint of this radius line here. Reminds me of an old story where you had 6 people get together and everybody had to shake hands with everybody. So this person had to shake hands with this person, 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 and had to shake hands with that person. So let's get this line in here. Actually, that's a neat problem, the handshaking one, and when we get to looking at different fun patterns with numbers, I'll show that to you. So, now I've created these right triangles. Nothing here. Well, I did that from that point. Okay, the second person's shaking hands there, shaking hands across here, but needs to shake hands here. And needs to shake hands here. As you're working along, you realize different things as you go along. You think, here, I'm turning the paper and I've got all these other thicknesses below it, but I'm not using the compass point. Why do I have them there? Well, I don't know. I'll leave them there for now. So that's done. It's got there and the other 3, and now this one, well, I need to draw one more because the others they've already shaken hands. And then this one, I need one, and I think will complete that. Yes, all right. Each of them have 5 lines going out from them, especially these three that are easy to see. And now, oh, there's our kite, friendly oak kite shape. These are called right triangles. These are called isosceles triangles. Isosceles triangles, instead of having three sides the same length, only have two sides the same length, and the other side is of a different length, either less than or more than. If it was the same, of course, we've got our old friend, the equilateral triangle. So, next, let's see. Are there other lines that I could draw? Is there any way I could actually start to find these midpoints with the lines that I've got? And so I'm going to turn it so I can sort of look at it. And I've got these 2 points in the kite, and I'm thinking that they're the key points for finding the midpoints to these sides where it wouldn't have to use a compass. So let's look. This point and this point. All right. I'm going to draw this line. There's one of them. Well, I should do the rest of them. So let me see where the rest of them are. Oh, if I look for my kite shapes, I'll find them. So there's a kite shape right here, and I'll line these 2 up. And as I draw that line, I'm of course finding the midpoint of 2 of the sides of the hexagon. So I only need to do this one more time. I've done it twice. 2 and 2 is 4, and I only need 2 more. So I'll turn this again. Well, maybe I've misfigured. I see a kite shape here with nothing through it. Maybe I'll have to reconsider. Okay. Now then, what have I got this time? The kite shape is going to go to that midpoint. Good, that's what I'm hoping. And then down through to here. Well, I guess I misfigured. I guess I'm going to have to find this line. Actually, when I draw this, I realize that I'm creating a big equilateral triangle. Okay. Now then, let's go a little further and see if there's anything that we've missed. There's that. And what about, I see something here that I think I've looked over this one. So let's get it done. There we come. Sorry, it's a little hard to see it with my hand in the way. I just realized. And it seems like there's one more to do. Oh yes, I'm drawing again this big triangle, and I just need this side to it. So as you can see, when I was just playing around, different things started to appear to me. It was late at night. One of the reasons that my brain didn't seem to be working so well. Late at night, when your eyes start to blink, it's an advantage for seeing optical illusions, but it's not always, it's sometimes an indication that you should go to sleep because your brain's working really slowly. Now, inside are 6 equilateral triangles, but I think I need to do something with them. I think I need to try to see, here's my pattern. I actually end up with all these right triangles there. Oh, I can see what I could do. I could draw from the midpoint to the midpoint. on each of these. So let's do that and see what we get. From the midpoint through the center to the other midpoint of the side of the hexagon. So there's one. Here's another. And there's one last one. Let's see. We're missing it right here. Oh, I turned it more than I needed to. There we go. Right through this. It goes right through there, right through there, right through there, right through there to this side. Now that's my design. Let me just check it with this design. I'm pretty sure that we've got everything in it. Looks the same. Now, that was a nice design to make. And before I went to bed, I got to thinking about how I might color it in. And I thought, well, let me see if I can create some patterns using maybe one shape or maybe two shapes that fit together. So I thought, let's see what shapes I've got. I've got these triangles. These triangles have a very special name as well. These triangles have what's known as a right angle. The lines meet. You see, you can get four of them around. Around a point is 360 degrees. You sometimes hear of a basketball player in particular. He did a 360. Means he was facing that way, jumped up in the air, turned 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, 360 degrees. So he was facing back in the same direction that he'd been facing when he took off on his jump. So, 360 degrees divided by 4 means 90 degrees in each of those. Now, triangle has 180 degrees. This particular angle, well, let's do the same thing here. Here's a center point, and you jump up and right. This is a 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So 3 of those angles fit in that. So 30 and 30 and 30, that would be 90 degrees. 30, 30, and 30 is another 90. There's your 180 degrees. 30, 30, 30, 270. 30, 30, 30, back to 360 degrees. So this has got 30 degrees in it, and this has 90 degrees in it. So that means this one must have 60 degrees in it. So it's a special triangle that gets named by the degrees. It's called a 30-60 triangle, or 30-60 right triangle. Now, so we have that triangle. Oh, here's another one. It's smaller. Oh, we have a bunch of them. And there's some more there. So there's the right triangles. There are our kite shape. Our kite shape. Oh, we could figure out how many degrees were in the angles of the kite. I'm going to take a minute to look at this. This is 30. This is 30. This is 60. But this is a small 30, 60 right triangle. So if this is 60 and this is 30, it must make a 90 degrees. And yes, that is a square right angle. Wow. Okay, so that's 90 degrees. This is 60 and 60, so that's 120 degrees. And here's another right angle. So right angles have 90, and 90, that's 180, and 120, 60 and 60, 120 is 300, and 30 and 30 is 60, 360 degrees. This kite shape, the angles of it, equal to 360 degrees. Same as around a circle. And actually, let's look at this rectangle. This rectangle's got 90, 180, another 90, 270, another 90, 360. A square's got, the angles in a square have got 360 degrees. Whoa, okay, that's neat. Now, let's get back to looking at my shapes. What else can I see in here in terms of shapes? I've got the 30-60 degree right triangle. I've got the equilateral triangle, 60, 60, and 60. I've got this rectangular shape, a bigger rectangular shape, a bigger, or a full. I've got, well, I guess for the moment, those are the things that I can see. It seems like there might be a different kind of, there is a different kind of triangle. Here it is. This triangle has got two sides the same length, and the other side is longer than either of the two sides. But these two sides, equilateral triangle has all three sides the same, but this triangle's got two sides the same length, and it's called an isosceles triangle. Let's check it for a second. This we said was 60 degrees for the equilateral triangle. So this is 30, and this would be 30. So there's 60. And this is 60 and 60. So there's 120, and 30's 150, and 30 more, 180. So we have isosceles triangles, equilateral triangles, and 30-60 right triangles. We have a kite shape. We have rectangles. So I asked myself, let's see what I can play around with and do, maybe using the same shape. So I started out and I made this design. In this design, I said, I'm going to find kite shapes. And I found this big one I couldn't use. Or there's one there that I didn't use. But I found a lot of them, and I like this design. So I just outlined the kite shapes. Some were smaller, some were bigger. And it reminded me of a snowflake, which is hexagonal too. So maybe it looks more like a snowflake this way, though the snowflake's going to twist around as it falls. So that was one pattern I made. And after I made this pattern, I said, look at these right triangles. These 30, 30, 60 degree right triangles. They're the only part of this design that is not colored in. Otherwise, if I could find something that would completely cover this, maybe I could say, well, that's a tessellation. Maybe the shapes have to be all the same shape rather than some bigger, some smaller. But before I really decided on that, I tried this. I said, okay, some of these equilateral triangles are even bigger. This is bigger. It's similar, same shape, but it's bigger than that one. So let's see. I started doing that, but I couldn't find any other this size. And then I said, oh, what about those isosceles triangles that got left out last time? Let's put them in as a border. And there's one there. But then I couldn't find that covered everything outside of this shape has been included. This hexagon shape. So I thought, maybe I should just try to find, as I say, one shape and see if I could make a tessellation with it. Now, before I go any further, I don't know, but for me, this hexagon, maybe the way I've got it solid on the outside like that, but it seems to actually hover just a little bit above the level of the paper when my eye looks at it, as though it's just a little thicker. I don't know why that happens to my eye, but I like it, and I like the two designs I did. But I'm going to try to put my mind to coming up with tessellations. And actually, since doing this, I have come up with 9 tessellations. And what I'll do is, next time, I'll show you maybe 1 or 2 of them, and you can work to try to see if you can find the same shape, the same size shape that gets used over and over again to cover this whole area of the hexagon, which is a fantastically interesting problem, which I've enjoyed exploring the last few days. So thank you again for listening. Until next time, enjoy.